Is the SP 2022 secretly the P320 killer? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what makes this gun special and what makes it simple. First of all, grip is the most important part of shooting a gun in my opinion. So let's talk about the grip. You can get a firm grip on it. It's a little bit short without the magazine. So you put a magazine in. This is a +2 magazine base extension. It normally comes with just a 15 round mag with a little bit of a lip on the front. And you get a decent purchase on the gun, decent grip. There's really no complaints. Nice, hardy, thick grip. You can get it, no problem. The grip texture is fine. Front strap could be a little bit more aggressive. Back strap, fairly aggressive. Side panels, pretty good. It doesn't have crazy texturing up top, but you really shouldn't put your hands here because the decock is here and that'll kind of mess up your operation. The second most important thing when you're shooting is the trigger squeeze. So as we talk about that, the double action squeeze, as you bring it all the way down, it takes the, as you bring it all the way down, it activates the hammer and then boom, just right there. You can kind of feel this is where the hammer should fall a little bit more. Right there. Yeah. And then of course, once you've gone into single action, let me see if you can see that, okay. It's good, it's fine. It's a lot better than anything else in regards to standard striker fire guns, and I think this is where guns like this shine, between the ability to just dry fire it without having to rack the slide. Like if you shot Glock, if you shot Sig, polymer striker fire guns, you know that you have to pull the trigger, then reset it, and then you get a trigger pull. With these guns, you're just going right through it. And then of course you could just, if you want to get the single action, just pull the hammer down and you get that action. About that action. Let's go. So I've been talking for a while. Let's put some rounds down range really quickly and see how it is. So combining the grip and then the trigger pull just from the double action. Okay, that's good. Nice. And that's also good. Let's try that again. From the double action, single action, good. So it's not bad, it's not horrible. Could you get a better trigger out of this? Maybe, but I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a gun that's reliable, that gives me a good feel. I can get that double action, single action, depending on what I want. You know, my competition shooting, am I keeping this in a nightstand? Is it in a holster? I recommend you keep your guns in a holster. But it gives you the option, double action, single action, just depending on where you want to start. Yeah, this is good. Let's talk about something that a lot of guys get hung up on, and that is sights. These come stock. I mean, if you have a Glock, you know, Glocks come with plastic 3-dot white sights, little notch U in the back, and then the white dot in front. This does have a 3-dot system. They're metal, and they're okay. Now, the interesting thing about these is you don't have to replace them like you would with a Glock. They recommend, just because of how much beating the Glock sights can take, just in everyday action, if you need to use them in an emergency, you're gonna run into wanting to replace them. With these, you don't have to. You may go with some sort of like tritium or night sight situation, but other than that, I mean, it's fine. It's a good situation. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. If you've shot any recent guns, or if you've been paying attention to firearms recently, we're moving towards red dot systems. I will say this, in my personal everyday carry gun, this is a Glock 45 with the Holocent EPS milled to the top. It didn't come with a red dot, how do you say that? It didn't come cut for a red dot. I had to go ahead and send this one I sent it into Obsidian Tactics, and they milled it for me, and now I have a red dot on my gun. Huh? Sun's coming out. Is it burning me up? Yeah.
Much better.
So we're still recording, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So as you can see, red dot, no red dot. If you want a red dot on this, you're gonna have to commit. Why? Because in today's society, most people want a red dot, or a lot of people do. Some people don't. So if you don't want a red dot, perfect. You don't have to worry about, oh, I got an optic plate, I have a plate covering this up. Like, you don't have to worry about any of that. It looks good without the red dot. If you want a red dot, go ahead and commit, get the red dot that you want, mill the slide and get it put on there. You'll be happy that you did. Yeah. Only other thing that I've got to talk about right now is there's no front cocking serrations. Like you saw in the Glock 45, you can rack it from the front easily. You can still do that, but if there's any sort of liquid, moisture, sweat, blood, tears on your hand, you're definitely gonna want front cocking serrations if you manipulate from the front. That's a bigger deal if you have a red dot and you can't manipulate from the back, but really I want to be able to manipulate the gun from either location. You can always go from the front slightly, but this is a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more tactical, and I don't recommend it for somebody who's really just getting started or maybe doesn't have a high level of experience. But yeah. I mean, other than that, I think we're pretty good. I mean, I still actually have 2 rounds left. Even from the double action, we can make it through one-handed. Shooting one-handed from single action, that's doable. Ah, fly! Shooting it from single action, that's doable too. Yeah, it's a decent gun. Here's the secret weapon for this gun. I mean, first there's the decocker, that's cool. You can you don't have to unload the gun every time you want to get the hammer back into the neutral position. But the slide lock lever is huge. Look at that thing. This thing is ginormous. It is a chonker. This is great because you don't have to really focus on the slide lock at all. Sometimes when you teach people to shoot on when you teach new people to shoot on Glocks, we can kind of run into the issue of they're trying to like figure out the slide release. Here, it's very obvious. You want to swipe it down. It's big, it's tactile, it's really a positive response. It's good stuff. No problem at all. Plus, it doubles as the takedown lever, as you'll see in a second. You just punch this out, pull it out, twist, do all the things. I'm not going to show you right now. I'll show you a little bit later on. It's a good time. So the interesting thing about this gun is for me, guys like me, you have a kind of a high grip. You're going to hop on that decocker, which isn't a big problem, but it could be somewhat of a problem. Also, so you maybe want to adjust your grip to be more in line with here, so you're not like on the decocker. Also, big issue that I recognize with this gun is it shoots a little harder than it should. Like the recoil, like we're gonna pause the video and show you something. We're gonna show you like in slow motion what the recoil is doing to me in my little hands. And then kind of take a look at what I'm showing you right now, where we're looking at the recoil and it's a little bit more aggressive than it should be for somebody who's been shooting for a while. And is it me in bad fundamentals, or is the gun just kind of heavy on the recoil? And do we need to change out the recoil spring? Fortunately, we do have a secondary recoil spring, and we'll go ahead and switch that out and let you kind of see, is there some sort of difference? Yeah, let's see about that. It's a takedown lever where it's super simple. You just basically punch it out and wiggle it out, and the slide will come off and you can change parts out. So let's do that right now and change out the recoil spring. So this is out. It's easy, it's very simple. It looks a lot like the traditional striker fire, just a little bit different. It's got the hammer in the back. I love how this actually works, even though nothing's like attached. All the main components are still ready to go. So, and we're just changing out this spring right here. This is a plastic guide rod going into the metal guide rod. Supposedly, it'll give us a little bit better of a shooting experience. And ultimately, if we can, for cheap, get a better shooting experience, that would be great. All right, super simple, barely an inconvenience. Oh no! All right, I made it harder than it was supposed to be. It's actually super simple. Is it simpler than this P320 takedown? Absolutely not. That one's just a slight bit easier. And wait till the end of this conversation, because I'm going to tell you one reason why the P320 is actually way better. Let's shoot that big infinity target, the big A-zone infinity target. If you want one of these, I'm going to post a link down below. If I forget, let me know. And you'll be able to get these at a discount. They're pretty good. This is ready to go. Let's see if it's any lighter, because that's my biggest concern with this gun, is it kind of punches a little too hard for a big 9mm gun. Ah! See, got on the decocker again. That's something you got to train yourself out of if you're going to do this kind of thing. Put my hand a little further back, still good grip. Establish tension in my pinky and my middle finger, going around the support. Need more ammo. So here's the thing. We're still getting good accuracy out of it from kind of a, I would say, shorter distance. We're going to push it back to maybe 20, 25 yards in a second, but I'm not going to say that it shoots any lighter. I don't think it does. But you be the judge. I'm gonna slow it down, show you guys what it looks like. Maybe put like 5 shots, slow motion, see if we can't see any difference. I don't know if it really makes it much better. So we're about 25 yards back, and we're gonna, from the hammer in the up position, see about, see how well we do. Just breaking through that first shot from super far back. Oh man, I think I'm doing the worst I've ever done. I might have hit 2. I might have thrown one off the target. Let's take a look at that real quick. Like, I gotta tell you, it was a lot harder to do, like to focus. And if I had to do it quickly, like under pressure, you know, like in a mall or something, trying to stop a mass shooter from 40 yards away, I wouldn't trust it. Let's see about, from this 25-ish yards distance, putting 3 shots on each of these targets from the hammer down position. Ah! And the flinch. So, but I'll put 3 here for sure. Looks like I put 2, maybe 3, 2, 3 here. And then you heard when I was hitting the steel. Shoot the steel again. We'll call it a day. My shot timer. Shot timer makes it cool. Shot timers, you can get these at obsidiantactics.com. Transition to 3 targets, 3 shots, first shot at 1.49. For a good price, one of the best training investments I've ever made. This measures your time from your first shot, from like when it goes off to your first shot. So if you're practicing out of the holster, trying to get down to that 1 second or sub-second, it's great. And also, it will help you just kind of understand like how fast you are on drill. Do I recommend the SP 2022? And in what ways does it compare to the P320? I think just in regards to reputation, this is a lot, you're a lot better off. In regards to features, the P320 has more aftermarket support, so that's, you know, it's going to win out there. But this gun, sturdy, reliable, like you can do a lot with it. I like this gun. If you were looking for one, you should get it. If you bought one and you're wondering, did you make a good choice? You made a good choice. The only thing I don't love about this, as you may have seen, is it kind of has a bit of a strong recoil. The bore axis, as in where the barrel is compared to where your hand is, it's slightly high, and there's a lot of weight in the slide. The slide's the gun's a little front heavy. So as you're shooting, the gun jumps up a little bit, and it's hard to maintain. As a gun that's this big, I feel like should have a little bit less of that. Part of that, polymer handle, polymer grip, and you really can't get around that. Maybe you could adjust the springs as we have, and other than that, I think this is a winner. Definitely, if you got one of these, you got a decent gun. Hopefully you got it at a good price. Now for the $500 or $600 you can get these for, if you could get it for a better deal, maybe you find it slightly used or something like that, or somebody who you know took good care of it, also get rid of it for $300 or $400. Take it, it's cool. Great little dry fire gun. If you're a big fan of double action, single action, that's cool. I'm sure there's better stuff out there. Things that are cut for optics, things that have front serrations. I mean, the grip is fine. I like a little bit bigger grip sometimes. It's just how I am. You know, 2 mags out of the box, 15 rounds. I mean, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. This has a +2, so I mean, that's kind of good. It's not like super big, but it is a +2. If that was in focus, I don't know. But I mean, I think that double action, single action, you can kind of get really cool results depending on, you know, what you want to do. Well, actually, before I let you go, I have a podcast, Caustic Conversations podcast. Make sure you check it out. It's linked like in my channel information, like channels that I recommend. It's mine. Caustic Conversations podcast. I have conversations with so many people from the gun community, guys like Mike from Tactical Considerations, the owner of the Filster Holster Company, like all sorts of cool people, even like regular people that maybe you haven't even thought about. They have great stories to tell. Tap in there, check it out. We go live every Sunday, and see you there. I'm out. I'm empty.